everyone, nice to see you again, and I hope you have all created the center with the intersections of the perpendicular lines right here, and erased these lines, kept your center, and then created your intersection, your sections for the animations. Some of you can do it on 8 frames if you like, and if you've done 16 frames, that's even better. So today I'm going to show you how the animation has to be created on this. I'm going to demonstrate with a little example that I have here. Of course, this is a Phenakistoscope and it is 16 frames, but there's an example that is already created here. So I'm just going to show you how this works. So if you look at the man here, he slowly becomes a devil on the opposite side. So this is frame number 1. You could number it. Frame number 1, and the opposite frame, okay, it turns into a devil. Now how does that happen? If you notice, gradually the horns and the moustache and the beard gradually grow. So if you look at the frames, it's slowly transforming till it finally becomes the devil. And then he goes back to being bald again. Can you see that? So slowly it goes back to becoming a bald man again. So, so this animation is a looping animation. So as this spins around, the man becomes a devil and then goes back to being a man again. Slowly, over these frames, okay, over the 12 frames. By frame number 7, he becomes a devil, and back when he comes back to frame number 1, he becomes a man again. So that's the principle you're going to be using even when you create animation on this. Now in this, you have 16 frames. So you have frame number 1, and the opposite frame will not be frame number 7, it will be frame number 9. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Frame number 9 is the opposite frame. So whatever you're doing here, let's say you're drawing a bald man and he will gradually grow his hair and become a man, which is a really hairy man. This is one example. Of course, you can do various different things. You can do a bird flying, flapping its wings. So you can have a bird with its wings down, and gradually the wings go up, and it will be right on top. So whatever you're doing here, the opposite drawing will come here, right? So it could be a flower that's blooming. So the flower could be a bud here. Gradually it becomes, the petals, it starts blooming slowly by slowly transforms and becomes a full grown flower on this side. It could be a tree which is growing from a sapling. So it could be a sapling here, or a seed here that grows into a small sapling gradually and then grows into a complete full-grown tree on frame number 9. And then it goes back to being the seed again. So you can do, or you could do a sunrise. So here there could be mountains and you can do a sun which is slowly coming up, and then it's up in the sky, high up in the sky in frame number 9. And then goes back and sets again. So you can come up with all different ideas, but remember that the change has to be very gradual. So as you can see here, the horns are growing very, very slowly till he has full-grown horns. So that's how the animation is going to be done. I'm just going to demonstrate how you can do a slow change in your animation next. Okay, for the ones who are doing 8 frames and do not want to try the 16 frames, here's how you're going to go about it. So I'm just going to make a phonotrope drawing for you to understand. So this is, let's say this is your center, and you have your rough eight sections on a phonotrope. And if this is frame 1, the opposite frame will be 5. and you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames. So 1 and 5 will be the two opposite frames. So let's say you have an example I'm just giving you is an eye, which is open, right? You can color it if you want. So that's your eye. And over here, you could have the eye, it has to be the same size, and you can have it shut. So the eye, so you, as you can see here, this is how I'm facing, it's facing me, and then when I turn it around, this is towards me, the 5. It is upside down, the drawing. So this is like this, and this one is like this. Now gradually your eye will shut. So on frame number 2, I have to keep the eye the same size, and I have to slowly close it. Right? So that's our shutting. Maybe you can show the lashes. 3 lashes. And again, frame number 3, it will be half shut. And you have to show the lashes because we've drawn it on the last frame. And here it's almost shut. And there on 5 it's shut. Now 4 and 6 will be the same, 3 and 7 will be the same, and 2 and 8 will be the same. The 3 and 7, 4 and 6 will be the same, right? So now you have to draw frame number 4. So it has to be the same. Don't forget the lashes, right? And then 3 and 7 are the same. So you draw your 3 and 7. And then you have number 8. The same as 2. Remember, the eye size has to be the same everywhere. It shouldn't get bigger and smaller. And you color it in. And you have your animation. So this is one example. You could do, something else. You can have a boy jumping up and down. You have a, like I said earlier, a seed into a sapling. You have a sunrise, sunset. So think of actions, different kinds of actions. Maybe a boy just putting his hands up and down. 16 frames, number 1 and number 9 will be opposite, okay, and it's going to be a looping animation. So I'm just going to do it on a rough sheet. You could do the same. You create a rough animation on a separate sheet of paper. So this is a rough sheet that I have. You can do it in a rough book or a rough sheet of paper at home. So I'm just going to put my frame numbers down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So I'm going to create my rough animation here. As you know, in animation, each frame, when you make each subsequent drawing or a frame, it should be slightly different from your previous drawing or frame. So I'm just going to do a jack-in-the-box exercise to explain how it works. So this is my box. Okay, it's currently shut and you can see the size of the box. I will have to maintain the size of the box everywhere. So I have to ensure that the size remains more or less the same. Okay, you don't have to take a ruler or you don't have to measure it, but you have to kind of ensure, just eyeball it and ensure that the size remains more or less the same. Okay, Now my box, the lid of the box is going to open up a little bit. So you can see every time I'm just making a slight change. So it's going to open up very slowly, and when it reaches frame number 9, it's going to open up completely. So here I make another frame number 3, and I'll open up the lid a little more. Maybe I can have the head of my character coming out, so it's slightly visible here because he's going to pop out. Now you see the size is the same of the box everywhere. Frame number 4, there it goes. The lid opens a little more, and you can see more of the character. So you can probably see his eyes as well here. Okay, frame number 5. Again, I've made a little mistake here, but I can't erase it because I'm not using a pencil. But you'll be drawing in pencil, so you can take this out because I have to keep the size the same, right? So it's okay to make mistakes, and that's why you have to use a pencil and not a pen like me. And you make the lid open up a little more, and you have Jack coming out a little more, and you have his eyes here, and you can probably give him a little smile here. You have to keep looking at your drawing and trying to keep it the same size, and you have Jack coming out like this, and his neck is seen. And you keep the size the same. And you keep the head size the same. You give him the, and then lid opens up, and you have Jack here. So he's going higher. And you have the box opened up, and you have Jack completely out, and he looks the same everywhere, and the box size is the same except for here where I made a mistake. So that can be erased out with an eraser. So if you're drawing with pencil, it's better. If you make mistakes, you can erase those out. And you have to keep the box size the same and the head of Jack the same. So he looks the same everywhere. So that's how you do your animation. Now, in this phonotrope, in this phenakistoscope, as I mentioned earlier, there is a circle. There is frame number 1, and opposite frame number 1 is frame number 7. In our phonotrope, it will be frame number 9. So 1 and 7. Now if you notice 2 and 12, they are exactly the same drawings. Frame number 3 and frame number 11, they are exactly the same because this is gradually growing. The horns are growing, and then the horns are growing back. So these two are 3 and 11 are the same. 4 and 10 are the same. 5 and 9 are the same, and 6 and 8 are the same, right? In this case, in a phonotrope, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes back to 1, frame number 1, because it's a looping animation, right? So 9, 8 and 10 will be the same, 11 and 7 will be the same, 12 and 6 will be the same, 5 and 13 will be the same, 4 and 14 will be the same, 3 and 15 will be the same, and 2 and 16 will be the same. So it will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how it's going to loop. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then goes back to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and comes back to 1. So it's going to loop. So we're going to do the same animation now on our phonotrope. So we have a rough, so we've made a plan of what we're going to do. Now we're going to transfer it onto our phonotrope. So you have your phonotrope here. With a pencil, put your numbers down so you don't make mistakes. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We will erase out these numbers later on, but this will just help us to know which frame number we are working on and what animation we are doing. So remember, 1 and 9 are opposite. So that's your 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Right? So you have your 16 frames. Now you start with frame number 1, and we already have a rough animation ready. So we have to just follow this. It's very simple. So I'm going to see this line here, so I know roughly where I want to place my, so there's a slight dent on my paper plate. If you can see, there's a slight dent on the paper plate. So that can give me an indication of where I want to place it. So you can't place it up in one frame and down on the other frame. You'll have to keep it at the same place everywhere. It shouldn't go up and down. It has to be in the same spot everywhere, right? So here I'm going to keep it here. I'll have to be very careful to keep the size the same, right? So you see where I've drawn it here, frame number 1 and frame number 2. I'll have to keep it at the same spot. I'm doing this in pen, but I suggest you do it in pencil, so if you make mistakes you can erase. Only after I check your animation, only then do you use a felt pen or your colors to color it. Frame number 2, the box opens slightly, right? Remember we did that here? Box opens slightly. 2 and 16 are the same. 2 and 16 will be the same, right? Then you go back here and you do frame number 3, and I have to keep the box size the same, so I have to ensure it remains the same, and I'll open the box up a little bit more, and I'm going to again, I have to be very careful not to make mistakes because I cannot erase. I'm using a pen, and I'm going to open up and I'm going to show a little of his head here. That's frame number 4. Frame number 5. I'll have to keep the box size the same, and I'll have to open up the box a little more, and I'll have his head coming out a little more. Maybe I can just see his eyes here, right? And seven, and here I make 8. I have to keep it in the same place. I have to open the box and let him pop out and make his smile, and frame number 9. I open the box straight, the lid goes straight. I have him popping out and a smile, and here. Even higher up, and I have him springing out of the box. So I have the box opening and it's gone up to frame number 9. Now 10 and 8, 10 and 8 are the same. So it's very simple now, because all I have to do is copy this. 10 and 8 will be the same. But we have to maintain the size of the box. It has to remain the same throughout. So I'm going to keep the lid straight, just as it is in 8. And I'm going to bring the head a little lower. And I'm going to do this. And I have him smile. See, the head size remains the same everywhere. So keep your drawings very simple. You don't have to make very fancy drawings. You have to keep simple drawings. Now number 11 and number 7 will be the same, right? So the lid is closing a little bit and you have the head going down a little bit, right? Now 6 and 12 are the same. So again, I have to draw my box. I have to keep it the same size, and you have the box closing a little bit more, and you have your head here, and you have this, and you have the neck. That's 6, right? 5, the head is half in and the lid has closed further. So that's what I'm going to do on number 13. And 5 will be the same. So the head will be half out and the lid will be partly shut. If you make a mistake like I have, the head has grown too big, you can always fix it. You can erase it and fix it. And now number 4, as you can see, the lid is almost closed, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to close it a little more, and the box will close a little more and finally closes. So you have your animation of your box ready. Once you do this, you remove the numbers, all the numbers, and do not erase the lines yet, because we're going to do another spiral animation right in the center. So you can erase these numbers. You don't need the numbers anymore, but you have the Jack in the Box animation. So let me show you a very simple animation that you will do in the middle, which is a lot of fun. I really love this part the best, because you don't have to worry where you start. You could start at 1 or you could start at 6. It doesn't matter. All you do is start right at the bottom here and slowly go up like a spiral. So you're going to make a spiral. I'm just showing you a dot, but you could do a balloon, you could do a kite, you could do a square, you could do a triangle, but each time the dot just goes higher and higher like a spiral. So each time it goes further away from the center. So you can see here it's closest to the center, here it's going further away, and it's going further away, and it's going higher and higher and higher and higher. And you don't have to worry. This is the first frame, this is the last frame, this is where we started, this is where we've come, but you can still continue. You can still keep going higher and 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 higher, and there it goes. So you have a dot. Now you feel like, okay, I want to do something else. I'm enjoying this, I'm loving it. So you make a square, and you make the square go higher, and you can start anywhere. There is no rule, so you can start anywhere. All you have to do is go higher and higher each time. So you have to go away from the center. So you start closest. You could start here, so it's really close, then it goes higher, it goes higher, it goes higher, it goes higher, and it'll keep going higher, and that's how you create the spiral. But you have to keep the size of the square more or less the same, and just have a lot of fun, because this looks gorgeous, especially when you put different colors. It looks very pretty. And you make the spiral go higher, and it just goes higher and higher and higher. So do all this in pencil, do not do in pen like I have done, and we will check it. We will check this during our Zoom session, and if it's fine and if it works, you can color it. Right? So you can see another phonotrope that I have created. Let me show you my other phonotropes. So as you can see, this is frame number 1. This is the phonotrope that I've already made. Of course, while making it, the edges have gone flat, which doesn't matter. So if that happens to your paper plate, don't worry about it. You can see this is frame number 1, and I have erased the lines. Once it's complete and it's fully colored, I have erased the lines, right? So you can see that this is frame number 1, and the ball goes slightly higher, it goes higher, and as it's going higher, if you notice, even the eyes are following the ball, the direction of the ball, right? And now it's right on top, and it's now landing on the other side. So that is frame number 9. It's opposite of frame number 1. Frame number 1, the hand is on the left, in the left hand, and in frame number 9 it lands on the right hand. So that is how the frames are opposite. Now slowly, once it reaches the right hand is going to throw it up. So he's going to juggle the ball, and it lands again on his right hand. Simultaneously, even the legs are moving. If you can notice, the legs are also moving. They're going up and down, and this beautiful spiral, and you can see how pretty it looks once it's all colored. So as you have already seen the demonstration of how you can do frame by frame animation, how you can make a gradual change in your animation from the first frame to the 9th frame and back to the first frame. So it's going to be a looping animation that you do. You've also seen how to create the spiral in the end, in the center, which looks very, very interesting in the phonotrope. So I hope you all make your animations. I hope you enjoy creating the animations, but please remember, do it only with pencil. When I check it in our Zoom session and I say, okay, go ahead, that's when you can color it and you can give it a nice interesting outline with sketch pens. You can use color pencils, you can use crayons and make it look as attractive as ever. So happy animating, see you again soon.